Today's reading or today's insight is around the shifting of energy. Um, I was reading some posts yesterday, and a lot of them are resonating around sort of like the frequencies and the higher frequencies that are coming at the moment. As I was starting to connect into it and starting to connect into what was going on, I'm feeling there's a massive shift, like with energies that are coming back to the planet that haven't been here for a long time. And a lot of it relates to like ancient wisdom and ancient sort of insight, but it's going back to times like reclaiming. I used to have a great group about 5 or 6 years ago called like Atlantis Reclaimed, and I started this Facebook page, and I just we were talking about Atlantis, and now people are talking about Lemuria. In my understanding of Lemuria, Lemuria was like a time of where there was like light beings, and they sort of like they were androgynous. They didn't really have sort of like any kind of like gender. They weren't like male or female. They were just like this infinite light. They were just an energy and a light. And then Atlantis, and people talk about Atlantis, where there was crystal chambers, and they split the soul, and the soul went like male and female energies. The divine sort of energies were split into like a male and female. But before that, they were sort of like connected, just in. They were just like androgynous beings that were just like these high vibrational beings. And so the last couple of days, I'm getting a lot of stuff around sort of flames and sort of like energies. So like you're seeing like sacred flames. I know there's a group called Telos that talks about Aurora Jones, who was like a channel for a guide from Lemuria called Adama, who's like a high priestess of like Lemuria. And he worked, or this energy worked through, not he, but again, see I'm doing it again, but this energy worked through Aurora Jones. I have trouble saying the name, but yeah. So there's a book called like Telos 1, 2, and then there's like 3, and then there's something to do with like sacred flames. I suggest anybody go and check it out, because it's a really harmonious sort of book that talks about like fifth dimensional reality and fifth dimensional living. But things are shifting. The light bodies, the light frequencies. A lot of people are talking about 12 strands of like DNA, and the 12 chakras, and all these kind of chakras opening up, and we're activating. Um, as this is happening, the frequencies are changing. I did like an insight yesterday, talking about the third and fourth dimension yesterday, and was talking about how spirit connect, and how your energy field sort of expands. And when your awareness and your energy field expands, then your consciousness expands, but also your frequency, your light frequency um, gets higher and intensifies. And that's how these guides, or these energies, then align with you. It's like that their frequency is not dense, it's very high. And they only work on a frequency of harmony, and they only work on a frequency of like a oneness frequency, which is the universal law. So not only when we are at that state of awareness, or we're in a state of being, do they connect. And this is happening as well on a higher frequency at the moment, where the energy grids and the energy lines are opening up on the planet. And as they open up, we're opening up. And I feel like I want to talk about this because Hilarion, who's like an ascended master. So you've got like the first ray, which is Almora, then you've got like Lord Lanto, then you've got Paul the Venetian, and then you sort of like, I think you start talking about like Hilarion, who comes in, and it's like, so these guides, or these ascended masters, these universal teachers, which are part of the White Brotherhood, have started to come back, and it's like these energies are starting to come back now, and we're starting to connect to them. We're starting to connect to them now, and these frequencies and these energies are coming back because our frequency is expanding and opening. So these ascended masters that have been, like I said yesterday about this veil, where they've been behind this veil and this spirit world and these spiritual energies, these different realities and dimensions, due to the frequency not being high enough on the planet for them to start bringing these teachings back. They've always been there, but they've been like in a different sort of frequency than we are. And as our bodies open up and our frequencies open up, these masters are coming back. So it's a very, very powerful time at the moment for us to start to receive this. Also, the angelic and the archangels are very much around us, and we're receiving these energies from it at the moment because our frequencies are expanding. So you're open at the moment, you're open to receive that divine flow and that communication. So Hilarion talks about truth and the truth of things and the true reality. As like with Almora, it's about sort of opening up to that divine flow. So they all work in perfect union together. And then Lord Lanto talks about the illumination of the soul, the awakening of the soul, and so you start to sort of open up again to be illuminated into these realms of light. And then sort of like Paul Venetian talks about creative expression, but it's about creation as well. And it's about seeing things, like seeing the truth of things, but it's about like living in truth, or living it, truly expressing yourself. And I feel like the Helion brings this kind of energy. The energy is green. It's very much around sort of growth, growing. It's very much about heart as well. Although you see a lot of heart sort of colours around spirituality, you talk about pink, but this green colour is very much connected to the spiritual centre, the spiritual heart. And like Archangel Raphael is green and works on a soul level with this soul healing, and Archangel Raphael works on the heart chakra. The heart chakra, or the heart center, is the expansive center of our spiritual being, but it's also where we're awakened, and when we're in there, it's infinite and limitless. And this is part of what's going on at the moment. These energies are coming down. As we start to move and shift, we start to see these energies and these universal teachers start to come back. I keep saying the last couple of days, I feel like, again, as I talk about this, I feel like Melchizedek, universal teacher, is around again. I'm seeing this in purple, I'm seeing it in like this white energy. It's appearing with these piercing blue eyes again, and I know this energy is around. And this works on universal truth, universal expansion, universal consciousness. A lot of it's around that at the moment. And in the time of Lemuria and Atlantis, we were very much open on like these stellar gateways. And what I mean by this is that because we weren't limited by physical density of our physical incarnation as we are here, we had a frequency of a sense of density, but it was more like, because we were connected to these light bodies in these realms and frequencies of light, we were able to sort of like travel and also connect to these universal guides and these angelic guides. So I feel very much like this time at the moment, this new dawn, this golden age that people are talking about, is very much going back to that kind of time where in these Atlantis sort of writings and teachings, they talk about crystal chambers, they talk about priests that would go into these crystal chambers and they would be able to access universal realities and universal dimensions. And this is very much what's going on. I feel like there's a reclaiming, and this sort of this Atlantis like reclaimed group I started like 7 years ago makes a lot more sense now, as at the time I was talking about these kind of things as thoughts and feelings and energies and guides and impressions. But I do feel it's becoming more of a reality for us at the moment. If we can remain in these light bodies and these light frequencies, those kind of experiences and that veil will start to dissolve, and then we'll start to become again once again connected. The planet has been a long time disconnected in a sense from universal sort of realities and universal realms and frequencies. And you know, a lot of people talk about like Arcturians and these other kind of aliens sort of. And when the alien is a word I don't like, but it's like they talk about these different sort of like spiritual sort of beings and entities. And for a long time, I feel like at one stage, as when we were in these higher frequencies, we were very much open to that. And this is what's coming again. We're opening up to these kind of these frequencies where we can start to receive these teachings again. And this is part of the ancient sort of teachings that we had, the ancient wisdom. And this is very much connected to like gold, which is a gold color. I always feel like gold is source, but gold is like the ancient wisdom, the infinite wisdom, and like the dawning or golden age is very much around sort of being connected to that source, but connected again to that infinite wisdom that we're all part of. Like our souls have incarnated and have been in frequencies where we've been on very high frequencies as well as different denser frequencies. A lot of the souls that are here now are here for that reason. They're here to shift reality and to wake up to that universal source, but that soul consciousness again, where we're aligned. So we're connected to the planet, we're connected to each other, and we're connected to the universe, and it's opening up again. So I see this, I see a massive dome of light and energy opening up. So these domes are like sort of like uh, symbolic of like energy, sort of like frequencies and then energy fields, which is a lot of us are connected to at the moment. I feel like I'm feeling a lot of like spiritual activity and spiritual energy around me. A lot of people talk about, you know, where they get these spider webs on their face. I feel like my head opens up, and also my chakras open up, and I feel like the energy's flowing through me but also up and around and out. So I know there's an expansion going on at the moment. But I wanted to talk about these ascended masters because they're around, and they work in perfect union and perfect unity again with the archangels and other spiritual guides as well. A lot of that's around at the moment. A lot of it's happening at the moment. But I am getting this kind of quite a lot of impressions. People are talking about being in the heart, and this expansion. And it's very much that. I was reading something yesterday which made a bit of sense as well. Somebody was talking about, if you feel poor, you'll be poor. And I know that seems very simple, but what the message they were trying to say is that if you keep looking outside for abundance and you keep looking outside at money and materialism, in that sense you're going to keep feeling like you're wanting, you're needing, that you're missing something. But if you sit inside and you sit in the heart and you know that you know that you're rich, you're rich with abundance and light and energy, then you'll know that you're connected, and you'll feel more at peace, and you'll feel more in flow and more in harmony. So there's lots of practices that are needed like that at the moment, which are very practical but very much needed. So like I said, this Helion is coming in, and it's bringing this energy, is bringing in this the true reality, this true sort of like aspect of as us as beings, and it's asking us to awaken to that, you know, to speak your truth, express your truth. And we're all trying to sort of like do that at the moment. That green light is bringing expansion, it's bringing knowledge, it's bringing wisdom. But I also I was connected to the Ashaic records this morning, and I feel like this green energy connects to that as well. That connects to that kind of energy of like knowledge and wisdom, but the halls of learning and the halls of wisdom, which I think is the Ashaic records. Ashaic records are like every thought, word, deed, and reality, and this library records this. But how I see these halls of learning, or they're halls of light, the light frequencies of energy, that hold the resonance of experience of realities that have been, and that's how I see it. But it's not how everybody sees it. I mean, I'm not an Ashaic record reader. I've been drawn to it the last couple of last couple of days, and I'll look into it more as I always do when I'm sort of drawn to something. But it's very much around that time at the moment. It's about these higher frequencies. So I feel like the message of today is to allow those frequencies to integrate, because that's the important word. Is integration is really important at this time. It's no good just reading something. You have to truly integrate it in your life. And I'm feeling this is part of my process at the moment, and I'm not sure, you know, whether this is happening to other people, but I'm sure it is, because I'm not the only one ascending on this planet. You know, we're all ascending. Whatever you think you're doing, you are ascending on some sort of formal level. And I know with my ascension process and my awakening process, I'm being asked to go in, and I'm being asked to remain in that light and remain in that energy frequency within myself, and just allow things to dissolve. Like, don't get caught up in the outer reality. The outer reality is the third dimension. The inner realities are the fourth, fifth, and higher dimensions, and it's about remaining in that. And the more I remain in that, the more everything remains in balance, and it remains it remains in balance and harmony, and it dissolves everything. And the more and more I'm being sort of like shown this, the more I'm being guided to practice this daily, and it's about being centered. It's about being grounded, and it's about just remaining in that. Know that where you are is being divinely guided. It's being divinely is in divine flow. You just have to open up and accept it, and allow it to happen. And this is where like the cycles of like birth and death and rebirth are going on, for many people, which is where this thing's being dissolved. And it's like this is where the part of the reclaiming is going on as well, because you're awakening to that higher aspect of yourself. You're also reclaiming that knowledge and that wisdom that's within your soul, which is within your incarnations, but it's also then starting to awaken in you. So you're starting to see the world in a spiritual way, and that's the shift from the third dimension to the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. The shifting of third dimension to the fourth and fifth is letting go of that materialistic and that third dimension physicality, and it's moving in more into a spirituality sort of reality, a spiritual reality, and a spirituality where you're living in that way. And this is what this time's about. And as I see this again, I've got this beautiful golden light, I've got like a yellow light, I've got a green light that are all coming through, and the green and the yellow are split, and they're each side of my energy as I start to talk this. Yellow is very much around illumination, creative expression, and green is around that sort of knowledge, wisdom, growth, understanding. But it's also living in the heart. You need to live in that heart, because that heart is expansive and it's infinite, as like the mind is very limited. The mind only knows intellectual and physical solutions, as the soul knows intuitive, and the heart knows intuitive and intuitive solutions, where you start to use that intuition. But that intuition is also connected to that infinite source, and this is why it's important to start to open up. I see an oak tree as I start to connect into this, so I know that this can relate to the tree of life, which is connected to many different realities, many different sort of dimensions, and is very much sort of connected. I want to talk about shamanic as well here. I want to talk about shamanic sort of journeying. So like the tree of life is very symbolic in that way, like the shamanic journey, and they talk about going into the tree, and they can go into a tree, and then they can go into different aspects of Mother Earth, but it also takes them to the spirit world as well. So this tree works as like grounding us, but it also allows us as a portal to move through this tree, and experience different sort of like journeying, where we go to different realities, and different sort of dimensions, and we can start to learn. We're multi-dimensional beings. We've got many different frequencies in us, and this is what part of the awakening is about, and this is why these master ascended master energies are coming back as well, because we're starting to open up to those multi-dimensional frequencies. And as we start to do this, then we can start to then again be realigned with those different frequencies. And when that happens, you get spiritual vision, you get spiritual sight, you get like a clarity of it. And this is what shifts, and this is why your life, when you awaken, doesn't make sense, because in the spirit, having a spiritual sight, you're looking around at how the world is vibrating, and the frequency of the world, and the world is not sort of like vibrating in harmony. It's not part of harmony. It's disconnected, and it's also the reality and the vision of what we see is not what the purpose of why we're here. So this is why a lot of things don't make sense anymore as well. So there's lots of things going on at the moment for many of us as we awaken. And these are all part of the teachings that we're receiving at the moment. And there's so many tools, like I saw about this tree and these visions. Just go with whatever you're given, go with it and flow with it. And if you flow with it, and you'll start to open up, and you'll start to see the truth. And this is the message of what Hilarion bringing. He's bringing the truth. He's bringing true sort of like bringing like a true reality sort of experience. He's giving you the true, giving like this energy is giving you this true sort of like clarity, this true vision, and true understanding, so you can start to awaken, and you can start to walk in spirit, in light on this planet, and dissolve things that don't serve you, but then become in harmony again. And this is what the angels do. This is part of the angel's role. The angel's guide only brings the God sort of or the divine sort of flow, the divine essence they awaken it, and they bring you in harmony with it again, so that you are aligned in light, and you're aligned in love, and you're aligned in peace. This is what the angels bring. This is the whole purpose of the angels. But obviously you've got Michael, and you've got all these other archangels as well that bring this infinite knowledge, because they live in a place of infinite possibilities, infinite knowledge, and they bring that wisdom. And this is what the masters are bringing as well. And there's so much of this going on at the moment, and there's so much happening, and there's so much shifting. If you just quiet a little bit, or go in a quieting state, you'll receive it. Your essence will speak to you, and your soul will speak to you, and then you'll start to open up, and you'll start to receive these frequencies. And that physical lower 3D reality or vibration will start to become lessen. It will lessen, and then what will come is these third, fourth, and fifth dimensional frequencies that will start to resonate more, and they start to harmonize in your life, and they will start to shift and dissolve the blockages, and the barriers are there, but you'll stop being so attached to a third dimensional reality, and you'll stop feeling so much like you're connected, or you're powerless in life, in a sense where you're connected to the outside world, the physical world, and you're less connected to like the physicality of the problems of the world. The problems of the world are not your problems. You did not incarnate to come down here to attach and sort of like become connected, attached to them. What I mean by that is, all thought and energy is physical, not physical. All thought and energy is an energy. That's what I mean. So what I'm trying to do is clarify this. I'm not saying we're not here to shift the consciousness of the world, and I'm not saying we're not here to shift the consciousness of the planet, because we are. But what I mean by that is that physical third dimensional reality is not your true expression of who you are. It's not your true expression of your energy and your light. Your energy and light can be used and sent out into that physical world as a living, breathing vibration to change and shift the energy frequency of the planet. But you're not that frequency. We're becoming attached to it, like that third dimensional reality. Like that is, the reality, and that's who we are. That's not who we are. We're much more than that. We're so much far removed from that and far beyond that. So what I'm trying to say is, your energy and your light can be used as a vibration for a positive change in the world. And this is why light workers and spiritual beings and healers use distant healing and send it out there, because they know it's a living, breathing energy, and they know it. When you get on that vibration of the third, fourth, and fifth dimension, there's no distance, there's no time, there's no space. You send it, it's there. That person receives it, and that's how it works. And this is what I meant by about like these frequencies of when Lemuria and Atlantis, we were in sort of states of frequency that we know once we sent something out, it was instantly there. It was sent out, and because of the attention and how we did it, it instantly manifested. It instantly created. There was no doubt. There was no has this person received it? We know it, that it went there, and it was there for the highest purpose. It was there for the highest good, and it would go, and it would harmonize, and it would help dissolve. And this is what they did in those times as well with their energetic bodies. They could see the blockages, and they would heal them instantly. They would heal them with their own energy. The healers in that would look at somebody, and if they'd learned to a certain state of awareness and knowledge and wisdom, these healers and priests would instantly remove blockages. They would remove something before it even started to manifest. They would see the seeds of creation starting to happen, and they would already start to see the disturbance in the energy field of people, and they would literally heal it before that seed grew to creation, or it manifested into, whatever it manifested into. Maybe sort of like if it could created a rift, or it could create disharmony, or it could have created something, a disturbance between people, between trees, between animals, between the planet. It took a lot of sort of, they would like instantly heal it. And this is what we need to start doing. We need to start sort of like recognizing the disturbances in our own energy and in our own being, and we need to start to align those. And this is, again, I feel this is what the Helion comes to bring. Helion comes to bring that kind of truth. It's letting you see that true expression and that true reality, and it's asking us to really start to sort of like dissolve those things and heal those things, but also bring harmony in our own frequency. There's a lot of like insight in what I'm talking about today, and a lot of this is like spiritual sort of knowledge and wisdom. But this is how I feel that the masters bring these kind of teachings. They bring them through words, thoughts, but they also bring them in a very practical way, because this is what's needed. So yeah, send your energy, send your light out there. The world needs it, but also know that this third dimensional reality is not your true essence. It's not who you truly are. And once you start to let go of it, then you stop feeling powerless, and you feel more aligned. So you feel more like you feel alive. You feel more vibrant. You feel more energized. Just let go of it, because that reality is not who you are, and it's not. And until we start to shift and let go of that as a collective, the reality won't shift. And this is what the teachers and the guides and the angels are coming forth to awaken us for. They're asking us to remember that this planet of learning, or this physical planet that we're on, this dense planet, is not the true vibration. It's not true expression of who we are. And they're asking us to awaken, and they're asking us to let go of that third dimensional reality, so we can shift to the fourth, fifth, and we can start to be aligned and be more with them, and start to receive the communication, receive the insights from them, because they're there, and they're there willing, they're observing us and waiting to step in and to work with us. But we need to let go of this reality at the moment.